Okay, 231-1977, the Hustler Rip Rogers is our guest. He is a professional wrestler, and he doesn't go anywhere without his valet, Miss Brenda, so she is right here with him. Okay, since I'm going to ask you another question, it's probably none of my business, right?
You're right.
Are you an athlete?
Am I an athlete?
Or are you an entertainer?
Let me tell you something right now. I played 3 sports in college. I played 6 sports in high school because I'm the only man that could ever do that. And when you win 12 letters at a major university, people have to sit back and say, you are an athlete. And also, I took up bodybuilding, and I have not only competed in, I won 2 physique contests. And I'm looking at you right now, baby. I could throw that question right back at you in your little 3-piece suit and your receding hairline, and say, I can say to you, you're not an athlete.
Yeah, you know that's kind of rough about my receding hairline. It was peroxide that did it to my hair.
Yeah, I can tell, because something sure.
Yeah, so you know your hair might not have too much longer to last either.
Anyway, you're talking about being an entertainer or an athlete.
Which are you? Which is wrestling? Is it entertainment or sport?
It all depends how you look at it, because it's like baseball. What is baseball? Is it entertainment or sport?
Mm-hmm.
What is football? Is it entertainment or is it sport? You go there to have a good time, to get drunk, and if you're playing
to get drunk.
If you're an Atlanta Brave fan and the Cubs are in town,
yeah,
you go to yell at the Cubs.
Okay.
If you're playing in Wrigley Field, Chicago, and the Braves come to town, you go to yell at the Braves. So in other words, you might go to the Omni Sunday night and yell at me. Why? Because number one, you're jealous.
Things keep going like they are. I may buy a ticket just to come in there and call you some foul names when you step into the ring with Mr.
You might
Rich.
have to, because that's the only chance you're going to have of doing any kind of physical destruction to me.
Has it already been determined what's going to happen Sunday?
What's going to happen Sunday is I'm going to go in that ring, and if you're lucky, you'll get a ticket and go down there, because...
But it's not predetermined. I mean, the powers that be, the great promoters in the sky, haven't already determined whether you're going to beat Tommy Rich or whether he's going to throw you out of the ring, have they?
Well, has your great producer in the sky determined whether you're going to talk today or talk tomorrow?
You're answering a question with a question.
Why not?
Well, I guess one of the reasons why you would do that is because you wouldn't want to answer the question with an answer.
Well, one thing I can say right now is that you're pretty smart, Alec, right now, for being bald-headed with a big pot belly in that 3-piece suit, and you're no kind of athlete at all. And if you want to try me, I'm welcome anytime, but I'd say right now to come on down to the Omni Sunday night and watch me paint Tommy Rich's hair pink.
Paint his hair pink.
That's right. Because he's a former world champion. I give him credit for that.
Uh-huh.
He's held a lot of regional titles. I give him credit for that. But I'm about to make a name for myself. My valet slapped him on national TV. She spray painted his hair a little bit on national TV. He was embarrassed, but there was nothing he could do about it. And I'm going to finish the job Sunday night in the Omni, baby.
231-1977. Now, the Hustler Rip Rogers can't see you folks at home, you know, so he can't insult you based on your appearance. But maybe you can match wits with him somehow. If you got any wits at all, you're probably more than a match. And you're on WGST from Decatur. Go ahead.
Yes, I think there's a distinct difference between, I'm trying to be a serious caller, between
You don't think he looks serious? I've got Don Dornberg in here with me. He's my bodyguard. Miss Brenda come over here, try to slap me. He'll have to take care of it.
I think there's a distinct difference between when you talk about baseball, boxing, or football, or basketball, and wrestling. I think the previous mentioned were sports, and wrestling is a show or an exhibition.
What about basketball? Is basketball a sport?
I believe, yeah, because I think that it is not fixed, it's not determined ahead of time, it's not, you know, anyway. I still watch wrestling from time to time, and I know that a person that carries the kind of weight these guys carry, if in fact they were to do some of the things that you actually see on television for real, that the person would not be able to come back up off the mat, or, you know, there'd be broken bones and that sort of thing.
You know, that occurs to me now. Hustler, I don't want to answer for you, I don't want to speak for you, but to the caller, I'm not going to try to answer for the Hustler Rip Rogers, because I think he's obnoxious, okay? He's insulting and obnoxious, and probably not the kind of guy I'd like to go out and have lunch with.
Right.
But the purpose of sport, baseball, basketball, hockey, football, is to entertain, is it not?
That's right. It is an entertainment.
Okay, now who sells out the Omni more, professional wrestling or basketball?
Oh, I don't question that.
Who sells out Madison Square Garden every other week?
I'm not saying that a fakey thing is not a thing that, you know, a guy sold a book about Howard Hughes and never met the man. I mean, that was a fabrication.
You see, I'd like to buy a ticket for the Omni because I'd like to see this Tommy Rich take a sock and stuff it so far down the hustler's throat that he'd get, you know, athlete's feet of the esophagus. But I don't know if that's going to happen, but I'd like to see it, and I may go down there Sunday to see if it happens.
There is one thing that I don't understand in our society. I don't see the reason. And I watched the people that come out of Madison Square Garden and the thing that's on WTVS. I don't understand why people have to act in such an uncivilized manner. Maybe that's the way you hype the thing, but
Are you,
a lot of times you don't see professional boxers.
Well, let's ask him. And you do see professional boxers. There's one well-known professional can't talk anymore. Professional boxer that made his name that way. Okay, Hustler, are you hyping?
Let me tell you something right now.
Are you blowing off just to build an audience?
Do what?
Are you blowing steam? Are you acting like...
No, I'm on your WGST radio station right now because I was laying in my bed and somebody said that you wanted to see me. I didn't come down here to see you because if I wanted to see fat, bald, and ugly, I'd walk down the street, down at your local Crystal station.
Yeah, if I wanted to see Proxide, I could go down to the 10th and Juniper and see that too. So
anyway, back to the... What was your original question, sir?
Well, he's gone. You want to know what my original question was?
What's your original
Are
question?
You hyping?
Am I hyping?
Is all this big talk just hype? Are you really an awfully nice guy underneath all this BS?
An awfully nice guy.
Are you?
I've been accused of being a lot of things. I've never been accused of being a nice guy.
I can well imagine that's true. This call's from Doraville, and you're on WGST.
Good old Doraville, famous for nothing.
Go ahead.
Okay. Whenever I have to watch wrestling because I walk in when my mother's watching.
Well, if you don't have to watch it, I just turn it off then if you don't like it.
I always think of the Three Stooges, you know, the hitting up the side of the head and bouncing back and acting like they've never been hit. I really think it's the funniest thing in the world. I think it's off stage. I had a coach and... Then
you're entertained, aren't you?
Well, I heard that it's all fake. The blood is capsules in the mouth and that they're really not athletes. Anyway, anybody as fat as those people are up there could not be athletes. They probably have heart attacks before they're 40.
Well, I'm not trying to defend this guy, ma'am, because he is as ugly as they come, but at least he ain't fat. We got to go pay some bills, Hustler. You know, this is what I like. I want you to start talking and saying something insulting. Do that right now.
Okay, obviously.
See how that is, folks? I can cut his microphone off. That gives me such a great pleasure. We'll be back in just a moment.
Hey, Neal, how you doing?
I'm doing okay if I can get through this show. Yeah?
Oh, John was promoting.
Uh-huh.
And I went to wrestling, so I met a wrestler. I got to be friends. I mean, I did a little work for him. And every Saturday morning after the match was on Friday night, I used to go, they was rehearsing, practicing down on Ira and Edgewood, somewhere along in there.
I hadn't heard this before.
And so I used to go down every Saturday.
Yeah, you're going to have to make this quick now. You tell us what you did every Saturday.
Anyway, I went and get me a ticket. So the Friday night before, I had been going a long time. Friday night before, he and the assassin had been wrestling against each other. And they just really tore him up over the ring. So anyway, I went in there Saturday morning, and who did I see? He was drinking coffee with the assassin. So I walked up to him.
How'd you know it was the assassin? I thought they wear a mask.
Yeah, well, I mean, they were practicing there, you know. They was down there.
Did he drink coffee through the mask?
No.
What was he using, a flavor straw or something?
He was sitting there drinking coffee. They were sitting there, you know, at the table.
Yeah.
And so, and I told him, I said, look, I said, the way those guys would be there, and how can you be sitting there talking and laughing with them? He said, they were one of my best friends. Say, all that was just fake. And anyway, what about this wrestling that wrestling somewhere overseas and wanted everybody to wrestle with him here because did you read that in the paper? Well, he used to beat up these people so bad.
What do you want to say to this guy? He's just carrying on.
Well, I know.
Come on, Hustler. Has he got you started?
Well, I didn't want to cut in on this guy because he's obviously a college graduate and very superior in intelligence. But I'd like to say that, after their big super fight, too, Ali and Frazier were sitting there drinking coffee, and they said, well, Joe, what do you want to happen? You want me to win? You want you to win? Or what should we do there? Let's just get the money right and run.
But do you really believe that?
Huh?
Do you really believe that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, come on. Boxing, now, come on.
And then the White Sox was coming into New York to play the Yankees. And they told me ahead of time, hey, the Yankees are going to win tonight 2-1, but the White Sox are going to win tomorrow 8-7, so everything will be okay.
What do you say about that, sir? You think it goes that way?
Well, no, but I mean, it has been that it has been basketball now.
Hey, it's been proven the point-shaving scandals of college basketball, the 1919 Black Sox World Series, that baseball was fixed.
That's true.
So let's face it, everything in this world is not what it seems to be. Ask your National Enquirer.
Ask the National Enquirer. Okay, thank you, sir, for gotta go. Hey, gotta turn on my mic here. Hustler, he's got me so spooked. You know, you're not gonna walk over here and cold cock me in a second like that guy did to that ABC reporter, are you?
What's that?
You know, didn't you see that on 2020?
No, I was busy reading the National Enquirer.
That's about as deep as your reading gets, I would suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, excuse me for being a college graduate.
If you're a college graduate, I'm a downhill ski racer.
Get the stuff out of your mouth and speak English, por favor.
Oh, a little Spanish. Where'd you learn that?
Sí, como no.
See, como no. 231-1977. I don't know what he's on, but maybe his valet can bring him around here in a second. Our guest is a hustler, Rip Rogers, and from Southeast Atlanta. You're on WGST.
Yes, I have two questions I'd like to ask Rip Rogers.
Well, that must be why you called.
Yes. What are you going to do when Miss Brenda can be fined and possibly be suspended and take her license away for hitting a wrestler that was not even trying to bother her at all?
Are you blind? You need glasses. Everybody saw on nationwide TV Tommy Rich grab my valet. The only recourse she had to do was to slap him into the face because that's what he or she, as Tommy Rich might be called, deserved. And hey, if you got anything to say, come on down to the Omni Sunday night. You're going to watch me.
Now, what did Tommy Rich try to grab?
Tommy Rich grabbed my personal valet on TV because he's jealous. Because I'm the man with the body, I'm the man with the blonde hair, I'm the man with the personal valet, and there's nothing he can do about it.
You're calling that hair blonde again?
Jealous.
Come on.
It's better to be blonde than bald, you know.
I don't know. I'll take being bald myself.
All right, and the other question is, what about when Tommy Rich gives him a personal valet? Will you sign a match for a mismatch? That's a woman and man gets a woman and man.
Only if you're his personal valet, because then it'll be no problem, baby.
231-1977, and you're on WGST. Go ahead. You're on the air.
I'd like to ask him a question if I can keep a straight face.
Well, looking at your face right now, I see it's not straight already.
Consider the face.
You just feel you count yourself lucky, ma'am, you can't see his face.
Well, I just want to ask him, I don't mean any harm. I mean, I want to ask you a serious question. Do you really believe that you can whoop Tommy Rich?
Pardon me, ma'am? You have to speak up, please, because I got some cheap equipment here.
You can whoop Tommy Rich?
Do I believe I can whip Tommy Rich? Now, ma'am, my valet slapped him on national TV. We spray painted his hair pink on national TV, and you're asking me a stupid question like that?
Ma'am, he's accusing you of asking a stupid question.
I'm trying to be serious with you.
She's trying to be serious with you.
I mean, see, what I mean is, I believe when you set out to do anything in life, if you really believe that you can do it without any doubts or reservations, that you can do it. This is what I'm asking you.
She's getting philosophic on you.
Getting philosophical.
Spit it out. Philosophic. Read my lips. Yeah.
Just come on down to the Omni, March 24th, 8 p.m., and you'll see me whoop him, lady, okay? Bye-bye.
One of the ladies in the newsroom, well, not actually in the newsroom, but one of the people who works in the station.
Actually not a lady, right?
Well, no, she is. Quite a lady. She, you know, but she was admiring your hair.
I can't blame her.
Yeah, she passed me this note. She said, with such beautiful blonde hair, why in the world would you want to dye your roots black?
The same reason you pulled your forehead back.
I've heard it said that an amateur wrestler, playing by the rules of amateur wrestling, could pretty well handle a professional of the same weight classification anytime.
That's like saying some senior in high school can go out here and throw a fastball to Dale Murphy. An amateur against a professional is no contest. That's like saying a guy that made all-city linebacker for Atlanta High School can come out here and want to play for the Falcons. Or the guy that can play city basketball can go out here and want to try for the
Well, how would you do if you were playing, how would you do as a wrestler if you were going by the Olympic rules, for instance?
By the Olympic rules?
Yeah.
I'd probably beat everybody about 21-0 or pin them probably pin you in 8 seconds or less.
Well, why didn't you go to the Olympics then?
Why didn't I go to the Olympics? Because I was already in another job. That's why I was already a professional.
Well, you weren't a professional all your life. Certainly there was some point where you could have trained to have gone to the Olympics if you're such a great athlete.
First of all, when you're talking about the Olympic Games, a buddy of mine, Bob Roop, is a very qualified professional. He's also the world television champion. He was in the 1968 Olympics. Look it up. Greco-Roman heavyweight wrestler, Bob Roop.
How would you do in Greco-Roman?
Oh, Greco-Roman, I'd do horrible.
Why?
Because I was a leg wrestler. Because I was a freestyle wrestler. I was not a Greco-Roman wrestler. That's like asking Dale Murphy to go out there and pitch for the Braves. It's a completely different ball game.
231-1977 from Norcross. You're on WGST.
Yes, I never cared too much about professional wrestling, but that blonde hot dog next to you, I'm going to buy a ticket and come down to the Omni, and I hope he get his socks whipped off.
That's good. I like that, baby.
You hope who gets his socks whipped off? I guess he hopes you get your socks whipped off. You don't mind that? If as long as people pay the admission price, they can come down there and hate you all they want.
And they can love me, hate me, do anything they want to do.
Just buy a ticket, right?
Because I make more money, baby.
Because it's all the money is the bottom line.
Because let's face it, money talks and bull jive walks. There's a lot of bull jive in here right now.
Ansley Mall, you're on WGST.
Yes, I'd like to know what do you feel about the tactics that some wrestlers use, like the Sheik used to throw fire and Kabuki used to spit that nasty green stuff all over people. What are your feelings about
Well, first of all, you're a learned man. You know all's fair in love and war. And the name of the game, whether it be love, life, or sports, is winning. Because winning's where it's at. They don't ask you how you did it. 5 years from now, they'll say, did you win? And that's all anybody will ask.
Okay.
231-1977, our next call coming to us from Southeast Atlanta. You're on WGST.
You never did. I'd like to ask Rick Rogers why he did not answer the question when what would he do if Miss Brenda got fined and possibly suspended for having her license taken away from her.
What, does a valet need a license? Do you have a license as a valet?
No, I don't, but...
Not you, Miss Brenda.
I'd be better a valet than your valet is. And furthermore, what would you do if Roger... why don't you take on Tony Atlas?
Okay.
We've already whipped Tony Atlas in the Omni. If you weren't there, that's your problem, lady.
Do you have a license as a valet?
Yes, I'm a licensed valet.
Well, what kind of a test do you have to pass to be a valet?
I roll Rip Rogers' hair, and I take care of his robes, and that's all the qualifications. Just a perfect lady, a beautiful lady. That's all I have to be.
Can y'all give me a second here while I roll up my trouser legs? I got to go back to the office later, and I don't want to be all messy. This call from Decatur.
Yes, I'd like to know, why do you always stomp the mat when you go to hit someone?
Stomp the mat?
Yeah, you take your shoe and you stomp it on the mat to make a loud noise.
Well, there must be a spider crawling across the mat or something, because I don't remember ever stomping my mat with the shoe.
More time at the foot doctor than you do in the ring.
Do what?
You must spend more time at the foot doctor's office than you do in the ring, because before you ever hit someone, you always stomp the mat or hit your knee on the mat while you hit them.
Excuse me, but are you speaking with a cleft palate?
No.
Now, why do you have to insult?
You know.
These people are my program. If these people don't call, I don't have a show here, and you're accusing this man of having a problem that if he did, it would be an incident of birth, and he couldn't help it anyway.
That's right.
Well,
now, you talk about the way he talks. You intentionally made your hair look like a plate of spaghetti.
Yes, but you unintentionally made your hair look like a chrome dome. So we're all even.
If you stop and think about it, I watch it. I've got a friend of referees on Channel 17.
Referee. That's just a third person in the ring to add to the show.
Yeah, and Michael Jackson lives next door to me, too, right? Okay.
Well, his name's Nick Patrick. That's what they call him. That ain't his real name. His dad's assassin #1, so don't get smart. I know what I'm talking.
Oh, my goodness. His daddy's assassin #1.
Yeah, right, okay.
Not my dad. The wrestler's dad.
The referee.
The referee's father.
Now, is he an assassin, or is he a wrestler, or what is he?
Or is he a referee?
I can see just like talking to a brick wall.
I've kind of gotten the same impression myself, sir, in the last 35 minutes. But, never want to admitting defeat. I plow on. This call from Norcross. You're on WGST.
Rip.
Hello?
Rip, he's talking to you. That's your name, Rip?
Yeah, what do you
know,
want to
Right, okay.
How does anyone become a professional wrestler and to be on television like you?
Well, first of all, you need to come down to the station right now, see Neal, give him $5,000, and he'll set you up in 22 minutes.
Now, that is an intelligent answer.
Okay.
Well, that's as good as you're going to get from him.
But how does anyone become a professional wrestler?
How tall are you?
Oh, I don't want to be a professional wrestler.
Oh.
I'm a wimp.
Oh, that's what I was going to get at next. So you already answered that question, so there's no need to, right? Okay, you're welcome. Adios.
Okay.
No, don't you want to? You need fresh blood in there. How do you become a professional wrestler?
How do you become a professional wrestler? Well,
I asked you first, and I don't know, so you'll have to answer the question.
Well, the way I became a professional wrestler, there was a bunch of boxers hanging out in Indianapolis, Indiana. One was Marvin Johnson, former light heavyweight champion of the world, WBA and WBC. And I know that since you're interested in boxing, is that true?
That's true.
Okay. The boxers work out at the gym, and they also had a couple pros that were wrestling out at a community center, and there's some college and some high school guys just sparring, keeping their cardiovascular shape up. Because as you know, when you're any kind of athlete, you have to keep that old ticker going, or you ain't gonna be ticking much longer.
Well, that's true. When your heart stops, you tend to slow down a bit.
Yes.
So, 231-1977, from our newsroom, we've just been informed that a tractor-trailer truck has been struck by a train on East Ponce de Leon, just west of Mountain Industrial Boulevard. There are rescue units just arriving on the scene. The driver of the truck is reportedly trapped inside the wreckage. WGST's John Lisk is en route to the scene of this, and we'll have more details for you as soon as possible. And, Rip, I cannot tell you how pleased I am to say that our time is almost gone, and I'm going to be able to get you out of the studio.
It's been your pleasure.
That is open to debate. But, I like a mental challenge. That I did not get from you, but at least it was fun. Right?
Anyway.
Come on, you're thinking, come on, come back with something real sharp now.
You've got a beautiful dress.
You've already hit my pot belly and my bald head. Come up with something new. Perhaps you haven't noticed the wart on my nose yet.
Yes, I did notice that, but I was saving the biggest laugh, the greatest laugh, when I see you buck naked in the shower.
Well, don't hold your breath. You probably will never get so lucky. And I hope you get stomped Sunday at the Omni.
You're going to see Tommy Rich's hair painted pink, baby.
Well, you certainly know about painting hair. No question about that. Our guest has been the hustler, Rip Rogers, who begged to be on the show, and we allowed him to come, and his valet, Miss Brenda, and they will probably retire to the conference room where she will comb his hair and make him look all pretty before they go out and face the public. Y'all get out of the studio now, okay?
Adios.
We'll see you later.